can't believe you actually destroyed the barrier. Why would you do that? And it's just like, because I felt sorry for Cain. Magic should be free. So it's just like, she's like, why did you do this? And it's like, because magic should be free. And that's one of the main points that I want to be talking about, is how magic should be free, because anybody else can have magic. It's just when you have limitations or you put barriers within the way, and that's why she had to destroy the barrier so that she could gain the magic so that it could be free, because there's so many people out there that put like gatekeeps on certain types of information. It's why I do a lot of my information for free, and why I've had this gripe of like selling information. And then I look back and I'm like, okay, well, college is like, you have to pay for the information within college, or you have to pay for the information within books, or like within audiobooks, or within certain paid programs or coaching. Like there is still an aspect of where you do have to pay for certain things, but it's also like, if you do want to go on the grand adventure, which is basically exactly what this anime is about, is like going on the adventure to find the magic, because you could buy all these things, which there are certain things that she does have to buy, like Grimoires, which is like a magic book. So there are certain things that you do have to buy, where there's also other things that like can be free. So it's like, that's why magic should be free. And it's just like, she controls water, does she? And it's just like, magic is a world of visual imagination. And this is something that I'm going to touch on in later videos within the series, but I'll touch on it briefly right here. Is like, if you can imagine something, because the imagination is the most powerful instrument that we ever have, and being able to unlock your imaginative powers can open up a completely different avenue and a completely different way of thinking, because a lot of the times our imagination is blocked off in this single small little box, where it's just like, if you can imagine ways to be able to say create somebody with water, and that's why Farron, she's like the most powerful mage, and she's like, can you imagine defeating a mage who controls water and the rain? And she's even like, at the very least, I can't. And like, if you can't imagine being able to create, and this is the girl that's able to control water, by the way, if you can't imagine how to do something, and they were trying to defeat this guy, so it's like, I doubt Richard, I think I said that right, Richard can either. That's where there's this whole surprising aspect of like, if the world is just, if magic is just an imagination within your own head, you have to be able to imagine what you want to be able to create. And I wish I would have had another clip of her being able to like destroy the other mage and the other people around, because here, let's see if we can do, it's Cain, I think, Kaane, in F-R-I water. Let's see if this will show up. So so it's like, it's this scene right here where she has this massive wave of water that ends up coming down and ends up like crushing the person. So I just think about those things and how it's really quite interesting how like you can manipulate anything and you can use your magic powers to the like extent that you want to, but your imagination has to be open. You have to be willing to imagine outside of the box, because a lot of the times, and let's see if I can demonstrate this through a drawing as well for a brief second, because I'm visually seeing it this way. So like, let's say, so like this is like most of your thinking minds. So like right here you have your happy little thoughts, and you're here, you're like, oh, this is fun. And I talked about this in the other video that I did recently around a different form of magic and psychics, because like you're in this little world where everything's just happy-go-lucky. It's wonderful. Like you've been told the amazing things that you want to be told, and you're just a happy little camper, whatever it may be, doing your little things. But then with a little baby as well too. I don't know why that's a little baby. But then you come out here and it's like, okay, well, now there's this other box, let's say, that has like magic. Or there's this other box over here that has like manifestation. That's terrible writing and spelling, but it works. Or there's this other box over here that has like simulations. Or there's this other box over here that has like the ability to use water as a element of fighting. Or there's this other box over here where it's just like creation. And it's just like, you don't know about all these other boxes out here because you have not left the box that you're currently in. And you don't necessarily even have to leave all these other boxes and stay in this one box, because what I've done is like, then it's just like, then I create this other box around it. And then it's like, okay, well, now you're in a box again, but it's just like, yeah, but now my box has multiple different areas that I didn't originally have because I was able to imagine different things. And then let's say there's another box or something like that ends up coming out over here, and it's just like, okay, well, this is my ability to, let's say, create hundreds of thousands of dollars or something like that. So then it's just like, okay, well, now I'll bring that into my box. And then I bring all these different things into my realm, and then I can start to erase like that box. So now I'm in this big box, and then I can be like, okay, well, now I have this understanding of this box, which I didn't originally have, or this one, and then I can remove those things. But we can keep this other big one that's just like around us if we needed to. And there's this whole different area, which I don't think I can remove that. I want to remove that line. But basically now I have this whole different reality, this whole different experience that I didn't even know existed in the first place, because I decided to open up my mind to have different experiences and remove the barrier. Because like, sure, now like there's all these other people that we could say are on this other side where it's just like, okay, well, now you have, let's say, somebody teaching a different workout plan or something along those lines, which I do have a workout plan down in the description as well too. If you are looking to get started out, it's kind of a little, I tried to make it somewhat basic while also still somewhat hard. So like there could be working out, or there could be like communication. There could also be like women. There could be like, let's just say you're in the anime box or something like that, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just like, do you have more depth? Like, do you have more of a concept, or is the barrier that's stuck around you just about anime? Because what if you wanted to explore communication, or like working out, or women, or like business or something like that? Like, what if you wanted to explore all these different areas that you didn't even know existed because you've been trapped inside the anime box? And this is where I say, like, there is no reason or rhyme that like nothing can't be free. You just have to find creative, imaginative ways to overcome those shortcomings that are happening in your life right now, which maybe you don't have any shortcomings. Maybe you've always been this perfect, most amazing person, which I mean, we always are, but there always will be. And this is just the catch-22 to this whole thing. Like, it's a double-edged sword. There's always going to be some sort of like barrier to entry, but there doesn't always have to be a barrier to entry. Like if you have a long life, and I'm going to touch on this in a later video, but I just want to touch this very briefly. Depending on how long your life is, you can always kind of determine what barrier, what information that you do want to like learn, but you do have to make a decision on the barriers, which is what I'm going to be talking about in a video coming up. So just make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on that. And with that being said, let me know down in the comments what type of barrier that you're in, or what type of way that you have been like gate kept from not being able to have like the freedom to do what you want to do. Because like you said, magic should be free, but there's always a price that does come along to it, because you had to train, you had to have the expertise, you had to put yourself in these places to be able to acquire this information. So you can have it be free, but like if you don't have the time to have it be free, then you might as well pay somebody to help you accelerate the process that you're going down, because that's what a lot of these humans in the series do. And I'll touch on this a little bit briefly in the next video that we end up doing. But yeah, if magic is a world of imagination, if it should be free, then it's just like she lives hundreds of thousands of millions of years, whereas like humans only live hundreds, like 100 years or so. So it's a matter of being able to identify like where you need to put your resources and your time. Like she has all the time in the world to be able to acquire any sort of magic that she wants to. So that's why it's just like magic needs to be free for her. Whereas for the humans, it's like we only have a limited amount of time in this, like the bodies that we're in right now. So we have to be able to delegate our time in the ways that we can be. And sometimes we have to go that extra mile so that we can acquire the information and the skills prior to our own demise. So with that being said, I'll wrap up the video there, and I'll catch you in the next one.